Hi everyone, we're going to be taking a look at the phone call analysis report. So in our reports down the bottom we have a performance section, and at the second to last we've got here our phone call analysis reports, where you can of course break those phone calls down, either looking at an individual consultant, a particular team, office or region. So if we click onto our report here, put in our date range, so it'll find all phone calls between that particular date range there. You can either look at who ran the activity, so that was the logged in user, or who the activity was attributed to. So I'm going to look at who ran the activity. Of course, you can then narrow down by owning consultant team, office or region, as we've mentioned. You can also look at company of the contact who was called or who called. You can look at specific call types, so you can narrow down to just get a list of that call type. So I'll keep that all open, I think. And you can also define which target period you're looking at. So as it says here, it defines against which type of target activity should be compared. You've then got group options. So do you want to group by client or by consultant? So I'm going to do consultant. And do you want to sort that data by the client, the call type, or the date? So I'm going to go with client. So it really depends on your focus, of course. If you're looking at BD and your account calls, you're going to look at sorting by client. It could be, if you're more interested in call types, it could be how many sales calls do I make versus a type of calls, or you could look at the date order in there. You can then look at that report by PDF or RTF or Excel. And let's pick my dates in there. I'm going to go back and look at calls since the beginning of Feb to today. So we can see as we put that option to group by consultant, so we've got Michelle in there, myself, and it's going to show all my calls to my contacts first of all. So we can say 5 calls were made in total, so all my calls. You can then see 2 of them were calls made and 3 were Canvas calls. None received, none with no answer, and we've got none with call left message. So the thing I love about this report is the data is great because it will show you the name of the person you called, the client, the time and date of that call, of course the type of call in there. And the great thing about the system is hopefully you're logging in here your follow-up calls. So what date is that going to be, the time, and have you done that? So it's a great way of reviewing yourself and saying, right, actually, out of all those Canvas calls that I'm making to my client, how many am I getting a follow-up call in there for? And am I making those follow-up calls? So you can kind of self-monitor yourself in there as well. On the right, you can even see the notes that you made on those calls, so you can read back on those notes if you need to. It will then continue showing any other consultants listed in that group. If I hadn't made any candidate calls, there would also be a list of candidate calls with the same information in there. As we've seen, this is a fantastic way of monitoring your calls.